I am the crow on the streetlight, the black shape people see for 1 second and forget. The thing perched above their perfect lawns, watching sprinklers turn like little silver clocks over grass no child ever runs through. I know what humans think of me. Bad luck, a dirty bird, a dark sign, something that waits for ruin. Maybe they are right, I do wait for ruin. But not because I bring it. Because humans build it so carefully, polish it so beautifully, and then act surprised when it finally falls. Every morning in Willow Ridge, garage doors rose like theater curtains. Clean SUVs backed out slowly. Women in yoga sets waved with coffee cups in hand. Men in pressed shirts smiled at neighbors they secretly disliked. Lawns were trimmed, porches were swept, flags moved softly in the breeze. Every house looked happy from the street. But I lived above the street, and from above happiness looks different. I could see who stood too long in the driveway after everyone left, who cried inside the laundry room with the dryer running, who threw away unopened letters before anyone else could see them, who smiled at the mailbox and cursed behind the front door. And in the blue house with white shutters, I watched a daughter become the villain of her mother's life because she was trying to save her. Her name was Lily Morgan, 18 years old, sharp eyes, messy brown hair, always wearing an oversized black hoodie, even in spring. She moved like someone carrying a storm under her skin. People in the neighborhood called her difficult, ungrateful, out of control, a problem. They whispered it while pruning roses. They said her poor mother deserved better. They said Lily had changed after graduation. They said she was wasting her life. They said a girl raised in such a beautiful home should be grateful. Humans love that word when they do not understand pain. Grateful, as if gratitude can make betrayal hurt less. As if a clean bedroom and a full refrigerator mean the heart has no right to bleed. Her mother, Emma Morgan, lived as if the world were always watching. Because in Willow Ridge, it was. She was 42, a single mother, a real estate agent with perfect hair, calm eyes, and a smile she could turn on even when exhausted. Every morning, she left the house in beige heels, carrying brochures, coffee, and invisible debt. Every evening, she came home with lipstick still neat and shoulders slightly lower than before. To the neighbors, Emma was strong. To clients, she was polished. To her friends, she was inspiring. To Lily, she had once been everything. I remember when Lily still laughed. Before the slammed doors, before the late nights, before the shouting that made even the dogs down the street go quiet. She used to sit on the porch steps with Emma and share takeout fries from the same paper bag. They would talk until the sky turned purple. Sometimes Emma would brush crumbs from Lily's sleeve. Sometimes Lily would lean her head against her mother's shoulder and say, "When I have my own place, I'm still coming home for dinner." Emma would smile, "You better." That was before Mark came back. Mark Morgan, Lily's father, though I never thought that word fit him. Father. Humans give beautiful names to people who do not always deserve them. He returned on a bright Saturday afternoon in a silver convertible, wearing sunglasses and the kind of smile that had probably opened many doors he never intended to walk through, honestly. I saw him step out of the car. I saw Emma freeze at the living room window. I saw Lily come to the porch and stop as if someone had stolen the air from her lungs. Mark spread his arms. "Hey, kiddo." Lily did not move. Emma opened the door slowly. "Mark." He smiled wider. You look exactly the same." That was his first lie. She did not look the same. She looked older in the way women look older after surviving too many nights alone. But Mark knew how to say the kind of thing lonely hearts want to hear. For 12 years, he had been gone, not dead, not missing, gone by choice. Birthday cards came late, when they came at all. Child support came unevenly, then not at all. Phone calls promised visits that never happened. He always had reasons. Bad timing, work trouble, a new start, a rough patch. Some men do not abandon with cruelty, they abandon with excuses. And excuses, repeated long enough, become a second home. But now he stood in the doorway with flowers, white lilies. For Lily, it would have been sweet if he had remembered they made her sneeze. Emma let him in. That was the first mistake, not because forgiveness is wrong, because hunger can wear the mask of forgiveness. Emma was tired of being strong alone, and Mark knew it. At first, he came only for coffee, then dinner, then Sunday brunch. Then he fixed the loose cabinet door in the kitchen and left his jacket on the chair like a man, slowly testing whether a house would accept him again. Emma began smiling differently, softly, dangerously. Not fully in love, not yet. But remembering love is sometimes more dangerous than love itself. Lily saw it before anyone. She watched her mother laugh at Mark's old stories, watched him touch her elbow when passing behind her, watched him call her M in that low, familiar voice, watched the years of loneliness rise inside her mother like a door being unlocked from the wrong side. And Lily changed. Not slowly, all at once. She started coming home late. She stopped answering texts. She skipped family dinners. She snapped at Emma over nothing. She wore darker clothes. She deleted college emails. She quit her part-time job at the coffee shop without explanation. She broke a framed photo of the three of them from when she was 6. The neighborhood noticed, of course. Willow Ridge always noticed the wrong things. Mrs. Cavan from across the street told another woman by the mailbox, "That girl is going to break her mother's heart." I clicked my beak against the streetlight. No, her heart was already breaking. Lily was simply trying to keep the pieces from falling into Mark's hands. The first night I knew something was wrong. Lily met Mark behind the closed grocery store, 2 miles away. It was past 10. The parking lot lights buzzed. A plastic bag rolled across the asphalt like a ghost. I followed because crows follow secrets. Mark stood beside his car. Lily stood several feet away from him, arms crossed, jaw tight. "You need to leave her alone," she said. Mark laughed softly. "She's your mother, not your property. You don't love her. You don't know what I feel. I know what you want." His smile faded then. For 1 second, the charming man disappeared, and I saw the other one underneath, cold, annoyed, hungry. Careful, Lily. She stepped closer. I heard you on the phone. Mark's face changed. There it was, the first real secret. Lily had heard him in the backyard 3 nights earlier, speaking quietly into his phone while Emma cooked dinner inside. He had said, "She still trusts me, I just need time. Then, the house has equity. A lot, then, if I can get her to refinance, we're clear." Lily had been standing near the side gate, holding a trash bag, frozen in the dark. That was when she understood. Mark had not returned for love. He had returned because debt had found him, and Emma still had something worth taking, but Lily had no proof, only words half-heard in the dark. Enough to destroy her peace, not enough to convince her mother. So she tried the only thing an 18-year-old with too much pain and too little power could think to do. She became unbearable. She thought if she made the house ugly enough, Mark would leave. She thought if she ruined dinners, interrupted conversations, slammed doors, insulted him, mocked him, and embarrassed everyone, her mother would wake up. She thought if Emma had to choose between her daughter and Mark, surely Emma would choose her. But adults are not always wise. Sometimes they are just wounded children, wearing better clothes. Emma did not see protection. She saw disrespect. One night, after Lily knocked over a wine glass during dinner and called Mark a professional parasite, Emma followed her upstairs and shouted, "What is wrong with you?" Lily stood in her bedroom doorway, trembling. "What's wrong with me? Yes, what happened to you?" Lily laughed, but there was no humor in it. "He happened." Emma's face hardened. "Your father is trying. He's not my father. That is enough. No, Mom. You don't get it. Then explain it." Lily opened her mouth. Nothing came out, because Mark had made sure of that. That was the second secret. 2 days after Lily confronted him in the grocery store parking lot, Mark cornered her outside the garage. Not with violence. Men like him rarely need violence. They use information. His voice had been calm, almost bored. "You want to tell your mother what you heard?" Lily stared at him. "Go ahead." Then he pulled out his phone. On the screen was a photo. Emma, sitting in her car outside a small medical clinic. Head lowered, hands covering her face. Lily's breath stopped. "What is that?" Mark smiled without warmth. "Your mother had a bad year. Anxiety, panic attacks, medication. A little breakdown nobody in this perfect neighborhood knows about." Lily swallowed. "You followed her?" "I pay attention. You're disgusting, and you're 18, which means you know exactly how cruel people can be." He leaned closer. "If you start a war, sweetheart, I promise your mother loses more than you do." That was how he trapped her, not by threatening Lily, by threatening Emma's dignity, her business, her reputation, her fragile little life rebuilt from ashes. Lily knew Willow Ridge. She knew how people smiled at pain, then fed on it later. She imagined whispers. Emma Morgan had a breakdown. Couldn't handle being single. Maybe that's why the daughter turned out like that. Maybe she isn't as strong as everyone thought. So, Lily stayed silent. But silence did not make her peaceful. It made her reckless. She began failing herself on purpose. Stopped applying to community college. Stopped seeing friends. Stopped caring how she looked. She let people think she was lost because telling the truth would mean dragging her mother's private pain into daylight. And this is something humans rarely understand. Sometimes the person acting worst is not careless. Sometimes they are carrying a secret too heavy for their age. The worst night came in July. Hot still. The kind of evening when even my feathers felt heavy. Emma had invited Mark for dinner. Not just dinner, a decision dinner. I knew because she wore the blue dress she had not worn in years. Because she cleaned the house twice. Because she lit the expensive candle saved for special occasions. Because she placed 3 plates on the table and stared at Lily's empty chair longer than necessary. Mark arrived with wine. Red. Emma's favorite. He kissed her cheek. Lily came home 20 minutes late, wearing ripped jeans and wet hair, smelling faintly of rain and gasoline from the station where she had been sitting alone. Emma looked exhausted. "Please," she whispered before Lily even said anything. "Not tonight." Lily saw the papers on the kitchen island. Mortgage documents. Refinance forms. Mark's hand rested near them. Her face went white. "What is this?" Emma stood straighter. "Lily, we'll talk about it later." "No." "What is this?" Mark smiled gently. Too gently. "Your mom is making a smart financial move." Lily turned to Emma. "Don't sign anything." Emma's face tightened. "Enough." "Mom, listen to me." "No, you listen. For months you have been cruel, disrespectful, and impossible to live with." Lily's eyes filled. "Because he's lying to you." Mark sighed like a patient man. "There it is again." Emma looked at him, then at Lily. "What did he lie about?" Lily froze. Mark's eyes held hers. "Careful," they said. Emma's voice broke. "Say it." Lily could not. Not without exposing the clinic. Not without Mark twisting everything. Not without proof. So she grabbed the papers and tore them in half. Emma gasped. Mark stood. For a moment, charm vanished completely. His voice dropped. "You spoiled little brat." The room went silent. Even Emma looked startled. Lily laughed through tears. "There you are." Mark recovered quickly. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that." But it was too late. A mask once slipped never fits quite the same. Emma looked at Lily. Her daughter was shaking, not from rebellion, from terror. And for the first time, Emma saw it. Not anger, fear. Lily ran out of the house. Emma followed her into the street. Lily, but Lily kept walking. Barefoot now. She had lost one shoe near the porch. Rain began falling, sudden and hard. The wealthy street blurred under silver water. Porch lights clicked on. Neighbors watched from windows, and in the middle of that perfect street, Emma screamed, "Why do you hate me?" Lily stopped, slowly turned. Rain ran down her face, hiding tears. "I don't hate you. Then why are you doing this to me?" Lily's mouth trembled. "Because I'm scared. He'll finish what he started when he left us." Emma froze. Lily looked past her toward the house where Mark stood in the doorway. Then she said it, not all of it, but enough. He came back for the house. The street went quiet except for rain. Mark walked out slowly. "Emma, she's making things up," Lily shouted. "I heard you." He smiled sadly. "She's been unstable for months. You know that." That word hit Lily like a stone. Unstable. The perfect word. The clean word adults use to bury someone's truth. Emma turned toward Mark. What did she hear? He shook his head. Don't do this in the street." What did she hear? His silence was small, but it cracked everything open. Still, Emma did not fully know, not yet. The final truth came from the one place Mark forgot to fear. A crow, me. No, I did not speak. Crows do not confess in human words. But we remember, we notice, we collect. A week earlier, Mark had dropped a small, silver flash drive near his car after meeting a man in a black pickup outside Emma's house. I had taken it, not because I understood it, because crows take shining things. I hid it in the gutter above the porch, beside a bottle cap, 2 paper clips, and a cheap earring. During the storm, water rushed through the gutter and pushed my little treasure out. It fell at Emma's feet, tiny, almost invisible. She picked it up without thinking. Later that night, after Mark left and Lily locked herself in her room, Emma plugged it into her laptop. I watched from the oak outside her bedroom window. Her face changed in the blue light. There were documents, debt agreements, emails, draft messages, a scanned copy of a loan application using Emma's financial information, and one audio file. Mark's voice, clear, cold. "She's lonely. That's the easy part. The daughter's the problem. If she keeps acting crazy, Emma will stop trusting her. Then she'll sign." Emma covered her mouth. The laptop glow shook on her face. That was the moment the truth became heavier than grief. Not only had Mark returned to use her, he had used Lily's pain as a weapon. He had turned daughter against mother, mother against daughter, love against love. The next morning, Emma did not put on makeup. She did not style her hair. She did not smile for Willow Ridge. She called Mark and asked him to come over. Her voice was calm, too calm. Mark arrived with flowers again, white lilies again. He stepped into the foyer, smiling, "Morning, Em." Lily stood at the top of the stairs, pale, wrapped in her black hoodie. Emma stood by the kitchen island. The torn refinance papers lay on the counter. Beside them, the flash drive. Mark saw it. For 1 second only, one, he looked afraid. Emma noticed. Mothers notice fear when they finally stop mistaking it for charm. She pressed play. His own voice filled the kitchen. "She's lonely. That's the easy part." Lily flinched. Mark said nothing. Emma's face did not move, but something in her eyes died with great dignity. When the audio ended, she whispered, "You came back because you thought I was lonely enough to be stupid." Mark reached for her. "Emma, listen." She stepped back. "No." One word. Quiet. Final. Then she turned to Lily. And what happened next was the sound of a heart, realizing it had wounded the one person trying to protect it. Emma walked to her daughter. Slowly, as if afraid Lily might disappear. "I thought you were punishing me," she said. Lily's lips trembled. "I was trying to save you." Emma broke. Not pretty, not graceful. She folded into her daughter's arms with a sound so raw even I lowered my head. "I'm sorry," Emma whispered again and again. "I'm sorry I didn't see you." Lily held her mother like someone holding the last piece of home she had left. And Mark stood there with flowers in his hand, finally seen. Not as a father, not as a lost love, not as a man trying to come home. Just a man who had mistaken loneliness for weakness. Emma reported the fraud. She changed the locks. She told the neighbors nothing. Not because she was ashamed, because not every wound deserves an audience. Mark left Willow Ridge in the same silver convertible he arrived in. Only this time, no one stood on the porch. No one waved. No one asked him to come back. After that, the blue house changed. Not quickly. Hurt never leaves in one dramatic scene. It lingers in cups left untouched, in apologies spoken too often, in doors kept open because closed ones still hurt. Lily did not become happy overnight. Emma did not become strong in one morning. They had ugly conversations, quiet dinners, therapy appointments, bills, college applications reopened. Trust rebuilt slowly, like a bird making a nest after a storm, twig by twig, day by day. But some evenings, I saw them on the porch again. Emma with coffee, Lily with fries in a paper bag. Not like before. Never exactly like before, but close enough to matter. One night, Lily leaned her head against her mother's shoulder. Emma touched her hair and whispered, "You should have told me." Lily answered, "I thought protecting you meant hurting myself." Emma closed her eyes. "No, baby." Her voice broke. "Protecting me means letting me stand beside you." I stayed on the streetlight until the porch went dark. The neighborhood still looked perfect from above. The lawns still shone. The windows still glowed. The neighbors still smiled when they walked outside. But I knew better. Every house has a room where truth waits. Every family has a story no one tells at barbecues. Every smile has a shadow beneath it. And sometimes the child everyone calls difficult is the only one brave enough to sense danger before the adults do. Sometimes the daughter who slams doors is standing guard. Sometimes the girl who seems ungrateful is quietly giving up her own peace to protect the person she loves most. I am the crow on the streetlight. I have seen many beautiful homes. I have seen many ugly truths. And this is what I know. Do not judge the loud pain too quickly. Do not dismiss the angry one too easily. Because sometimes the person behaving the worst is the one trying, in the only broken way they know, to keep someone they love from being destroyed.